13.2 left. Great look to find Barnes. Corner three. Doesn't go. Tatum with the rebound. Got a foul.
They say you'll never forget your first. Well, the Toronto Raptors will try to forget their very first in-season tournament game as they lose to the Boston Celtics 108-105 in what was a nail-biter. They had to claw back from a massive deficit. Pascal Siakam was special throughout, but ultimately it wasn't enough.
We just gotta put it together, you know. We have moments that we're playing a really solid defense and really solid offense. We're talking about like one of the arguably the best teams in the league right now, and we were able to hold them down to 108 points.
The Raptors started out this game well, and both Gary Trent Jr. and Pascal Siakam combined for 17 points in the first quarter as the Raptors won the first quarter for the first time in what felt like forever. But Siakam picked up 3 quick fouls, and the game began to slip there. Siakam didn't play in the entire second quarter, and Toronto was outscored 39-17 as the Celtics took a 16-point lead heading into halftime.
With 3 fouls, it would be really, really hard. You know, I was not willing to risk there and get him in the 4th foul, God forbid, and now he cannot play full third quarter. You know, so he was able to come back. He kept his mentality there, and he was huge in the second half for us. I wish he played 8-9 more minutes tonight.
I mean, I sat down for like, I don't know how many minutes, so I was just trying to play basketball at the end of the day. Like, that's really, like, that was it. Like, I just wanted to, you know, get into the game. Like, I feel like I sat most of the game.
The Raptors clawed back in the second half, though. They made 4 straight threes to start the third quarter and went on a 12-2 run to bring this game to within fighting distance. Pascal Siakam continued to carve out the Celtics defense in the post, creating advantages and scoring at will. The Raptors cut that 16-point deficit to 3 heading into the fourth quarter, where things got really interesting.
Late stretch with Scotty on the bench, did you think you were going to have an opportunity to get him back there a little quicker? Because I know he ended up...
Yes. I was down to 2 timeouts. I was hoping to get him faster. He was running. He was already 12 minutes straight on the court. So I just literally wanted 30 seconds to give him a break and get him back in the game. Unfortunately, that's on me. I'm going to own that once that I was not able to get him back on the court.
It was back and forth in the fourth quarter, and the bench salvaged their minutes in those 4 minutes until Siakam came back into the game and continued to carve them up. He finished with 23 points on 69% shooting and was absolutely dominant. But ultimately, in the fourth quarter, down the stretch, the Celtics executed better, and this was the dagger.
2 for 1 here, Scal. Holiday out to White in the corner. Bingo! Celtics by 3. Timeout, Raptors.
Now we can debate about substitution patterns and play calls, and we'll talk about that in the film room tonight, but the Raptors got down big in this game once again. It's becoming a very consistent habit, one that they have to shake in order for this team to become more consistent.
I mean, the first half hurt us. If we, can find a way to play for 48 minutes and make sure we, come out the right way in the first half or first quarter, that's going to help us a lot. So we got to find a way, to be ready, beginning of the game. I think second halves we always do a great job of competing and bringing the energy, but we got to find a way in the first half to bring it.
Now, tonight for the film room, I want to talk about Pascal Siakam, who his post-ups have become a consistent source of offense for a team that has struggled in the half court outside of that post creation. We'll talk about that and why they maybe questionably went away from it late in the fourth quarter. Let's do it.
Okay, so everybody knows that the Toronto Raptors are struggling immensely in the half court this season, just unable to generate good looks. The spacing is wonky. Guys aren't able to create advantages by themselves. But the one area, the one silver lining this season in the half court has been the post up for them. And this is something that they've been able to thrive at this year when the going gets tough, when they need a bucket. Either Pascal Siakam or Scotty Barnes are so good in the post that they can create and carve out advantages not only for themselves, but for their teammates as well. The Raptors this season in general are not posting up as much. They are trying to change their philosophy, but what they've been doing and the way that the Raptors have been able to work through these post-ups to create advantages begs you to ask the question, why don't they do it more? And tonight's game was probably the best example of this because Pascal was doing it all from the post. Jrue Holiday is no chopped liver as a defender. He is one of the strongest players in the league, especially when it comes to post-ups. I mean, just a few weeks ago, there was a video. You can watch Ben Taylor. He made a video about it, but I watched the game as well. He was guarding Joel Embiid, and now he's here guarding Pascal Siakam in the post, and Pascal makes very, very easy money of him, uses the patent spin move that people make fun of to cook him. In the third quarter, and now with Pascal with deep post position, he's able to use that to his advantage. The help comes. There's a double team. Now this is 4-on-5 essentially. Gary Trent Jr. wide open in the corner for a three. The thing is that these post-ups are also not only creating good looks for him because he's elite at scoring through these, but it's making a lot of open shots for his teammates, which is very important given the offensive context of this Raptors team. Same thing here in the third quarter, this time against Derek White, who also is no chop liver on defense. Another stout, strong defender on the Celtics, and while he is smaller than Pascal Siakam, Siakam with a nice little move to get him off his spot and hits it with a fadeaway jumper. That's a beautiful, beautiful move. A little bit later in the third quarter, the Raptors empty out the right side for Siakam to post up Holiday again. And again, Holiday, good defender, but the quick spin move is what absolutely destroyed him tonight. This time in the middle of the floor, and because the post up is being initiated from the middle of the floor, I want to bring this up. It opens up the corners. Look how Holiday is pinched into the middle a little bit. Obviously, look at Jaylen Brown helping as well. So now you have Schroeder on the right side corner, and then Gary Trent Jr. on the weak side corner, essentially ready to shoot whenever because there's so much space. If we were to pause it right here, look, all eyes are on Pascal Siakam and what he's going to do with the ball. And what that happens, you open up a shot for your teammate. Dennis Schroeder hits the three here as well. And this possession right here shows you the gravity of a Pascal Siakam post-up. You see Horford helping top side. He kicks it back out to Schroeder, reposts. And then from this position, Schroeder cuts away. Horford stays, right? So now there is, again, a 4-on-5 situation because the double is there. The Raptors have to take full advantage of it. And the thing is, the Raptors, with the cutting that they are able to do, and I think because of Darko's system a little bit, you're able to take advantage of these situations. Jaylen Brown falls asleep as the low man. Jakob Poeltl takes advantage. Easy layup there. This is less of a post-up, but more of a drive. I love the fact that he bumped Jaylen Brown, another strong defender, off of his spot to get into the paint for a nice little jump shot. All right, middle of the fourth quarter now. Again, Pascal initiating that post up in the middle of the floor, and watch how it creates this gravity. Hauser is helping off of Malachi Flynn. Pascal takes full advantage of that. Malachi does a great job of relocating as well, and then this ends up as a Malachi 3. Great job by both of those guys in that possession. One of the key aspects to the post-up is doing the early work. So Siakam earlier in this possession went out and hunted out Sam Hauser in the post. This is earlier in the possession. And because it's Hauser, it's a mismatch. It's a matchup that he likes to take advantage of. You know, being the smaller guy, the less strong guy, if you will. He takes full advantage. Horford has to come out to help. Again, nice dump off pass to Scotty, who finishes in the lane. Very good stuff from Pascal. Later in the fourth quarter, they empty out the left flank. It is now, Pascal versus Jrue Holiday. He's going to get in the post. Another easy look at the basket for him. You can go left, he can go right. It really doesn't matter. It is tough to stop Pascal Siakam. And on this final play, 99-99, he's taking on Jason Tatum. And while Tatum, he doesn't have the size advantage over a guy like Tatum versus Jrue Holiday, he just fades right over him, uses his poise, his patience to get to a spot where he likes it, and finishes over the top. Amazing work by Pascal in the post tonight. I mentioned this on Twitter already, but he is one of the best post players in the league so far this season. He's putting up 1.18 points per post up, which is just puts him in elite category. Jason Tatum is in that category as well. Anthony Davis is in that category. Karl Anthony Towns, Jokic, the regular names that you would expect are in that category. And Siakam is amongst those guys when it comes to post-ups. He is consistently creating advantages. He is consistently creating looks not only for himself, but for his teammates as well through this post-up. And my question is, why did they go away from it? And if you listen to Pascal's post-game presser, I think he's wondering the same.
For me, like that area of the floor, like, you know, I think I'm one of the best, like at that position, or all my positions, like to play at like there. And I think, again, just like reading the game and I feel like, you know, it's either you help or, you know, we get a good shot most of the time. And when you help, it's like we still get a good shot because I'm gonna make the right play. So I think that, yeah, like I think it's instant offense for us, I feel like, and guys, you know, like Jakob, like Scotty, like all those guys kind of read like off of me, and I just also feel like once, you know, we give ourselves like space, it's easier to either score or find you know the right pass. So yeah, like you know, I hope we do more of that.
I'll tell you what, like he is every single day upbeat and full of energy, and I really appreciate his leadership. He's talking to all the guys every single day. He's more vocal. He's really embracing the role on this team, and I'm grateful the way he is coachable and the way he is treating his teammates and everybody.
I mentioned this on Twitter, but in the final minute 30 of the game, the Raptors had 5 offensive possessions, and Pascal didn't touch the ball in any of them other than to inbound the play. He was used as a decoy in some of those possessions, but ultimately the offense didn't run through Pascal, despite it running through him for the majority of the game. I ultimately think that that's probably what lost them the game. You could argue that him sitting the entire second quarter because of foul trouble also lost them the game. You could argue that Scotty Barnes not being subbed in a little bit earlier in that fourth quarter might have lost them the game. It is a growing opportunity for Darko Rajakovic, who I have to remind you guys is a rookie head coach. He even mentioned in his press conference today, after the game, that he's learning. He's still trying to figure these things out. He took full responsibility for these moments as well. So I'm not going to, be calling and condemning him for this one game. Ultimately, I do think, though, it's a learning opportunity for what this offense can be and what they can lean on a little bit more. Yes, there's supposed to be this change in philosophy, this change in identity, but I ultimately think you have to trust your players and trust your personnel and lean on your personnel to kind of emphasize their strengths. Both Pascal Siakam and Scotty Barnes, the one prevailing strength that they have, especially in the half court, is their post work. And if you're going to be able to kind of lean on them to create for you offensively, you're going to have to put more post-ups in your game, especially in the half court. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, they are 0-1 in these in-season tournament. They lost to the Boston Celtics. They're now 0-2 against the Boston Celtics in the season, but that doesn't matter. It was an awesome game. It was back and forth. They played much better than they did in their first game against the Celtics, and ultimately, a good process game. I thought it was a good back and forth. I thought they played incredible in the second half. They got to clean up the first half in terms of, offensive production, defense, how they're kind of getting out to some of these shooters and whatnot. I think just cleaning up their defensive execution is going to help a lot. They have the Detroit Pistons on Sunday, which should be an easier game compared to the Boston Celtics, and we'll see what happens. Thank you very much for tapping in to the recaps as always. If you want, tap into the Objective Basketball Podcast, where I talk about the NBA in general. See you later.